With millions of YouTube channels, lovers of the weird, wacky, and what the choose Talks a Lot Entertainment. This is Dick's News International. Hello and welcome to Dick's News International. I forgot to turn my shit on. Hold on. Yep. Yep, Dick News International number 14. Around the world. Yes. Yes, indeed. I literally have shit from all over the place, including the United States, because we didn't get to Monday's show. As a matter of fact, I haven't been able to do any shows this week. It's been kind of shitty. Just saying. Hail to Aaron Ratliff, who says, Boomer. I have a lot of boomer moments. If you want to see some boomer moments, just give it a minute, and I'll have a lot. It'll be fantastic. Great. Yeah, those, that is nothing compared. You know what I mean? And of course, we have Christian DeLorme's Vinyl Revival. Hail, my good friend. He says, bonsoir, everybody. And then, of course, Vince Womack. Hail, greetings and salutations. He says, hail, Corey. Hello, my friend. I hope you're in for some interesting shit. Yes, sir. It's gonna... Man. You know what? Let's just start it off. Okay? Right here in the United States. Because more than 2,300 pounds of meth was found hidden in celery at Georgia Farmers Market. And there's the 2,300 pounds of meth hidden in celery. That's because they were like, there's absolutely no way celery weighs 2,300 pounds. It's mostly water, but at the same time, it's technically it's mostly nothing. Right? I mean, celery, it's not even worth eating. Ugh. Aaron Ratliff says, don't feel bad, man. I'm a Gen X, but have more boomer moments than the boomers in my family. I feel that. I really do. I really do, bro. Vince Womack says, after the last food stream, there was literally some weird shit. Yeah. Yep. I'm cooking up another one, so just wait. Yeah, so let's take a look at this, huh? Forest Park, Georgia. Celery was used to conceal more than 2,300 pounds of methamphetamines that federal agents discovered in a truck at a farmer's market outside of Atlanta, according to the DEA. In what the DEA is called one of the largest seizures of its kind, the agents confiscated the drugs being delivered to Atlanta State Farmers Market in Forest Park, authorities said on Monday. An agency had learned that a semi-trailer coming across the Mexican border and agents tracked the drugs to the farmer's market, said DEA Special Agent in charge. I thought his name was Charge. There you go. There's a good one. Anyway, DEA Special Agent in charge, Robert Murphy, says that the drugs were found inside the truck. No shit. This was contained in a coverload of celery. It was hiding in the celery. Obviously, we threw away the celery. That didn't make it to the store. Oh, come on. Come on. If they're allowed to alcoholize beer, you might as well make celery exciting by just dropping some meth in it. All new from Rockstar Energy. Meth celery. Woo! What? Man. Vince Womack says celery is good in some spaghetti sauces. It's part of the base. Especially that good meth celery. Yay! Give it a nice zip to your spaghetti sauce. Aaron Ratliff says, I just can't see the cartel leader thinking that was a good way to ship it. Good help is hard to find, bro. The smugglers were all like, don't worry, senor, I will get your drugs across the border. I've got a truck that will fit them perfectly. Ay caramba. What were you thinking packing them in celery? Stupid. Vince says, can you tell I'm hungry? No, not at all. Not at all. So it is a frequent tactic of smugglers, apparently, to conceal drugs in produce. I've known about that, but at the same time, it's like celery? Really? Jeez. Hail to John Edgar. What is up, my friend? He says, hail Corey, hail chat. I'm making boring grocery store spaghetti right now myself. Man, I don't like boring spaghetti. It's not good. Not good at all. Vince Womack says, cop, do you have any drugs in the car? Just some celery, man. Yeah, legit. It's nice. And crunchy. It's a weird chalky aftertaste. I don't know. Tastes like phosphorus and rat poison. Aaron said that had to be his nephew's first try or something, right? It's like, okay, I will give you a chance, but you cannot. It is not okay to pack them in celery. It's not. It's not okay. Man. Speaking of meth, let's head on over to New Zealand. Oh, over on the Rumble side, we've got Project Alice. She says, hola, lovelies. 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 Yes, indeed. And then there's Vince Womack doing the modding thing over on the Rumble side. All right, thank you, sir. And over on the YouTube side, look at that, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. But anyway, let's go to New Zealand to talk about more meth that was distributed in a food bank because they distributed candy made from potentially lethal amount of methamphetamines. So this here is your pineapple-flavored meth candy. Everybody does love that, man. Now, this is down in New Zealand, and they talk about how do they have meth down in New Zealand? I mean, what? Man, guess we got to get in the right mindset for this, right? Right? A New Zealand charity worker with homeless people working with homeless people in Auckland unknowingly distributed candies filled with a potentially lethal dose of methamphetamine in its food parcels after the sweets were donated by a member of the public. Well, if you ever need a zip, head on over to the food bank in Auckland City. Yeah. Vince Womack says, heard about that. Yeah, a lot of people should have by now because this was August 14th, and it is now the 22nd. Yeah, because I missed last week, too. Just saying. Just saying. Auckland City Mission said Wednesday that the staff had started to contact up to 400 people to track down the parcels that could contain the sweets, which were solid blocks of methamphetamine wrapped in candy wrappers. So this whole fucking thing right here is methamphetamine. That's a lot. Goodness gracious. The amount of methamphetamine in each candy was up to 300 times the level someone would usually take and could be lethal, according to the New Zealand Drug Foundation, which is a drug checking and policy organization that first tested the candies. Ben Burks-Ang, a foundation, I was right the first time, spokesperson, said disguising drugs as innocuous goods is common cross-border smuggling technique, as we just heard with celery. The sweets had a street value of about 1,000 New Zealand or $608 US per candy, which suggested the donation by an unknown member of the public was accidental rather than a deliberate attack. Wow. So this is a $600 piece of pineapple meth. Like, holy shit. Vince Womack says free candy vans become reality in New Zealand. You're not wrong, sir. Aaron Ratliff says someone ended up with a chum bucket over that screw-up donation. Yes, sir, they did. If an international drug smuggler finds out that one of his employees accidentally donated his $600 candy of meth, yeah, I would assume he's dead. That delivery man is dead. Yes, John Edgar says, holy crap. I hope these people get caught. How many kids could have got a hold of these? Oh, yeah. Aaron Latliff says, holy hell. Uh, Vince Womack says, 300 times the normal dose could be dangerous. Yeah, could be. Could be. I remember seeing other news articles about this and stuff, and one of them was all like, one mother put the candy in her mouth and immediately spit it out because it tasted terrible. No fucking shit. This was originally brought to their attention because a child was like,
Mommy, this is really gross candy. I can't handle this candy, Mommy. It's really gross.
and then the mommy tried it and they were like, ugh. And now here we are. $600 per 400 families that could have gotten them. Okay? Let's just think about this. Okay? They probably didn't hand out one candy per bag for, per family. Where like, you get a lemon treat and you get a lemon treat. There were probably handfuls of these fucking things being dumped on these people at the food bank because they thought they were lemon sweets for their children. And what was it? $608 worth of methamphetamine. Damn.
Food banks down in Mississippi and Alabama don't have that kind of luck. Damn. They'd be super productive down there and, like, getting on that shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, well, they'd be all about that down south. Just saying. Yes, sir.
Man. Anyway, so next article has nothing to do with meth. But it's just kind of weird. You've all heard about the snail mail, but this takes it to a different level. Postbox closed due to snails eating mail. Yeah. This is in Northumberland. Yeah. Brought to us by the BBC. It's just really weird. I've never heard of snails actually getting into a mailbox and eating the fucking mail. Going back to the meth candies, Aaron Ratliff says, uncut, just one of those is enough to get my entire trailer hood high. I bet. Man, that trailer hood needs a good boost every once in a while. John Edgar says, wow, I thought our mail service sucked. No shit. A postbox has been closed because snails have been crawling inside and munching the mail. A red box in Adderstone, a remote area of Northumberland, has been out of service since July this year because of the snails. The snails are eating their mail so much that they literally can't even use it. And the postbox was stolen in 2023. Like, it sounds like these people need to figure out, like, a better way to deliver mail. Like, go to the fucking people's houses. I didn't know snails could be a literal public nuisance. But then again, I guess anything could be, given the right volume, right? Vince Womack says, my step-uncle lived near there. Interesting. Vince Womack says, still better than the United States Postal Service workers that got caught throwing away people's mail. No shit. No shit. You're right. Yeah. Ha. Vince says, and it can't happen in France. Ha ha. Sacre bleu, he is correct. Ha ha. Anyway. Christian Delorme says, with all the rain we got this summer, the snails are eating my garden. Damn. Well, I mean, that's kind of what they do. At least it's not your mail. Eating the new copies of Hustler or whatever magazine that you get in the mail every week. Dirty old bastard. Gosh. Anyway, let's go to something with a little more pop, shall we? Yeah, a little bit more exciting than snails eating mail. And by that, I mean a Toyota Mirai was turned into a hydrogen bomb by Ukrainian forces and exploded with a force of 400 pounds of TNT. That's right, a Toyota Mirai exploded with the same force as a small hydrogen bomb. Well, they actually turned it into a hydrogen bomb, but we'll get into this in just a second. Hail to T.Z. Burton. He says, hail Vince, Christian, and chat. Hail, hail. Yes. What up? He says, get your dicks out. It's the news. That's right. And right now we're talking about a hydrogen bomb made out of a Toyota Mirai in Ukraine. Now, I don't normally talk about Ukraine. I don't. But when I saw that someone turned a Toyota into a hydrogen bomb, my brain flashed with the light of 1,000 suns to Fallout. And I got really excited. Just saying. The improvised explosive device was delivered via pizza delivery robot. Yeah. This is a screen grab of the bomb going off. Ooh, hold on. TZ Burton says that durian fruit is good. See, now that you like it, you should check out some of those durian pastries and, like, baking recipes and shit. You can make some pretty good durian bread if you made, like, banana or pineapple bread and you swapped out that fruit for the durian. It might actually be pretty good. Anyway, so yeah, this is a hydrogen bomb that went off. Yeah. The Toyota Mirai hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle has hardly been an international sales success, thanks to poor hydrogen infrastructure, expense, and polarizing design. But it proved successful to Ukrainian forces which scavenged parts from the hydrogen car to create the world's smallest hydrogen bomb. Sorry, I needed some water. Aaron Ratliff says, some bitch, now that's some redneck engineering. I've seen a moonshine still explode like that, but that was accidental. You're not kidding. Vince Womack says, whoever said overkill is overrated never saw that coming. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Man. This is, wow. Keep in mind, this was not a small thermonuclear device, sometimes colloquially called a hydrogen bomb. No fissile material was hurt in the making of this explosive, just an already wrecked Mirai and a pizza delivery robot. According to reports from pro-Ukrainian Euromaidan press, Russian forces had failed to take the town of Vovchansk and retreated to an aggregate plant just north of the river. From the report, given the circumstances of the Battle of Vovchansk, and the distribution of operations in Russia, blah, 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 they decided to take spare parts from wrecked electric vehicles to create an innovative bomb. This bomb was built using a fully loaded hydrogen fuel cell from a wrecked Toyota Mirai car and weighed over 200 kilograms. It was capable of inflicting severe damage on Russian defenses, comparable to an aerial bomb. The hydrogen composition of the bomb enabled it to generate powerful blast waves, fireballs, debris, and mushroom clouds. Since drones were compromised by electronic warfare and the bomb was too heavy for aerial drone delivery, the Ukrainians opted to use a remotely operated ground drone to transport the bomb to Russian positions. The ground drone carried the bomb was sent over a narrow, intact section of a partially destroyed bridge at this street, just wide enough for the drone to transverse. Wow. Like, this is really cool. Just saying. Won't anyone think of the robots? As a Karen clutching pearls. Vince, robot lives matter. Gotta admit, says John Edgar. And then, by the way, that was John Edgar that said robot lives matter. And John Edgar also says, gotta admit, this was pretty resourceful. Kaboom! Yes. Yes. Vince says, oh, it was the UK government that did that? I'm pretty sure it was the Ukrainians. It might have been them. Aaron says, yeah, nice kaboom! That's right. Obviously, Toyota isn't going to release a hydrogen-powered car with a tank that can just explode when a Mirai driver inevitably crashes the car. The high-pressure hydrogen tank in the back of the Mirai is practically impenetrable, unless, like the Ukrainians, you line it on all sides with plastic explosives and wheel it right up into a Russian camp. He says, not the UK, the Ukrainians. Not the UK, Ukrainians. Well, you said UK right here, bruh. Gosh. And if you're retracting messages, you know I can't see that in StreamYards. Like shit. Bro. Gosh. Yeah. They just straight up like, you know what we should do? We should take this. I have a great idea for improvised hydrogen explosive, okay? You see this shitty little wrecked Toyota over here? Yeah, it uses a sealed hydrogen chamber. And if we pack that with explosives, we can then roll it via drone into this Russian camp, and then we can just detonate it, and then the next thing you know, kaboom! Vince Womack says, they say it's inevitable that these cars crash. Yes. But at least something fun, in my opinion, came out of it. Granted, it's inevitable. It is inevitable. It's also inevitable that we find ways to weaponize science stuff. You know, John Edgar says these are the same guys who head-faked a Russian missile cruiser with ordinary drones so they ignored the missile that sank it. They are creative motherfuckers over there. I will give them that. I'm just going to say Russia's not going to have a good time with these people at all. They haven't been. They've been losing ground, but, you know, I don't normally talk about that stuff, but a hydrogen bomb made out of a Toyota. Toyota has been working some crazy business with, like, Somali people, like, pirates and shit, and, like, all these warlords and stuff with that one vehicle where the mounted gun on the back, and now the Mirai is going to make a killing in sales over in Ukraine, apparently. I mean, holy crap. Hydrogen bomb. Anyway, yes. I'm a man. I'm turned on by raw destructive power. Now let's bounce back to the US for a moment, shall we? I'm pretty sure this is the US. This just definitely does not sound like... Yeah, it's the Villages. So the Florida woman story. Excuse me. Vince Womack says, but now think how the Russians can take this as escalation. What are they going to do? I mean, other than what they just did and lower the draft age to 14. But I mean, you know... Aaron says, yeah, that's interesting news. Beats the hell out of U.S. news. Yeah, you're not wrong. But we're going back to the U.S. Florida woman! Lady Lake woman allegedly attacks boyfriend who declined phone sex. She's like, yeah, this what you get, motherfucker. Fuck with me. Uh-huh. Damn. Like, I don't think I've ever been physically assaulted for denying phone sex to anyone. Like maybe that's her kink, and I don't want to kink shame, but at the same time, I mean, that seems a little excessive. It really does seem somewhat excessive. I mean, yeah, so a Lady Lake woman has been arrested in an alleged attack on her boyfriend who declined her request for phone sex. The boyfriend ran to a neighbor's home and urged the neighbor to call 911 after the attack on August 6th by 36-year-old what's-her-fuck in the picture. According to an arrest report the police department gave everybody at the news store. The boyfriend said that Pearsall had arrived home and punched him in the mouth with a closed fist and drove away. He was still in the home when Purcell's 17-year-old daughter heard him ask, "Why is she being such a bitch?" The daughter texted Purcell and told her that about the boyfriend's comment, prompting an angry Purcell to return home. She started screaming and hitting her boyfriend, and the boyfriend fled the residence. When interviewed by the police, the boyfriend, who had suffered a cut on his lip, suggested she was enraged because she had called him from work the previous night wanting to have phone sex. He declined, which upset Purcell. He indicated that he and Purcell had been living together for 3 months. She is facing a charge of battery and remains free on a $500 bond. Like, that lady was having a really bad day, and, like, why is she at work wanting phone sex? The fuck? Vince Womack says, "Oh man, they race swapped the Lady of the Lake now?" No, you misread that. And King Arthur, apparently, who isn't into kinky shit, right? Come on. John Edgar says, oh my God. Keep it classy, Florida. Oh, yeah. Aaron Ratliff says, "Yeah, I can't blame the homie for passing. I wouldn't even want to phone clap that." John Edgar says, "True that. No shit. Don't let her hear you say that, bro. She might find you. She is out on bail right now. Like, look at that." She's looking at the guy taking her picture like, "What, you want to fucking try some?" Crazy bitch. And now back to New Zealand. You know, okay, before we go back to New Zealand, I just gotta say, bitches be crazy, all right? Hoes be tripping about all this crazy shit. They just, what? Anyway, all right. A man is in the hospital after being slapped in the face by a whale's tail. I would think that's where you wind up, after getting hit in the face with a whale's tail. Now to Atlanta. Couple sues Atlanta hospital for allegedly losing part of a patient's skull during or following the brain surgery. Yes, the surgery happened in 2022, and it involved removing portion of the guy's skull. Okay, like they had to remove it, so Vince is like, "I have questions." Well, let's find out. A couple is suing an Atlanta hospital that allegedly lost part of the patient's skull after it was removed during brain surgery because several bone flaps were lacking identification. Yeah, you know, when they remove a bone flap from a patient, they just throw it into a grab bag with all the other ones, and they're all like, "Oh, this is a fun game we play later." Dumbasses. Fernando and Maria Cluster are accusing staff of Emory University Hospital Midtown of negligence that led to an increased hospital stay as well as both physical and emotional damages. A spokesperson for Emory Healthcare said in a statement that it does not comment on pending litigation, but is committed to providing high-quality, compassionate care for patients and those we serve in our communities. Vince Romack says, was an actual whale hitting a man with a tail, or was it a fat tranny? That was an actual whale slapped a dude, and he went to the hospital. I don't understand why you can't, like, that's what happened down in New Zealand. Happens all the time. John Edgar says, "Wow, this is nuts." No kidding. And this is the single most corporate fucking response I could ever think. Like, this is almost Hollywood cliche writing at this point. I mean, honestly, we are committed to providing high-quality, compassionate care for patients and those who serve in our community. You're an idiot. Fernando Cluster was at the Emory Hospital in September of 2022 when he was suffering an intracerebral hemorrhage, otherwise known as bleeding on the brain. To treat the bleeding, Cluster required emergency surgery that included removing portion of his skull. The doctors removed a 12 by 15-inch bone flap with a plan to secure it back in place during a second surgery weeks later. But in November 2022, when Cluster set to have his follow-up operation, the hospital allegedly struggled to find the bone flap. When Emery's personnel went to retrieve the bone flap, there was several bone flaps with incomplete or missing patient identification, and therefore Emery could not be certain of which of these belonged to Mr. Cluster. This ultimately required him to get a synthetic bone flap, which entailed a significantly longer stay in the hospital. No shit. The couple alleges that the synthetic flap also caused an infection, which required another surgery. Cluster has incurred medical expenses in the excess of $146,845.60 after being charged for the synthetic flap and the prolonged stay, in addition to the surgeries. The hospital fucked up, but guess who's footing the bill? You! Like, seriously. John Edgar says, "We're breathtakingly incompetent, but we are committed to compassionate care." Yes, indeed. Christian Delorme says, "Talk about a clusterfuck. You're not kidding." And Aaron Ratliff says, "Yep, copy and paste from a legal department's pre-approved PR team." Brought to you by everyone that's ever written a press release for a legal team. Like, seriously. And you could find that, like, everywhere. Yep. John Edgar says, they charged him for it? I hope they sue the shit out of him. They are. For real. The couple alleges in the suit that they has been unable to work, his family relationship has been impaired, and suffered permanent injuries due to the hospital's negligence. The lawsuit does not state an amount the couple is seeking, but notes that they are seeking both general and special damages. And they give a note. In civil suits, general damages are considered more subjective forms of compensation for claims such as emotional distress or harm to quality of life, while special damages are more specific economic harms. Probably more along the lines of, like, loss of work, stuff like that. I would assume that the general damages are going to net them, hopefully, several $1,000,000. And I hope that the hospital is hit with such a fucking huge fine that they feel it in their colons. You know what I mean? Yeah. Vince Womack says his guess would be right around $135,000. No. This is the United States, bro. They're gonna sue to have the hospital bills covered by the hospital, to have them waived, and then they're going to sue to have all the extra money that they, in my opinion, deserve, and they can, like, retire because this hospital and its staff is blatantly, stupidly incompetent. And I'm sick and tired of medical professionals being absolute fucktards. Period. John Edgar says, "I hope you're right, Corey. The hospital needs to be taught a lesson." It does, but unfortunately, they probably have way better lawyers. But because obviously the case is getting press, they're going to be pushed to settle out of court. If they don't settle out of court for a very large sum of money, then that's going to be a lengthy process. And if the man dies during that process, then the hospital's even more fucked. Because it said that he suffered additional health impairments because of this. Yeah. Anyway, now we're going to move on over to Alaska. Now, I know, it's still the United States, but it's close enough to Russia that we can talk about it. This is ridiculous, by the way. Like, absolutely ridiculous. From people.com. After being attacked by a bear, then shot by hunter. Oh, sorry. What the hell is that? 32-year-old man survives after being attacked by a bear, then shot by the hunter who tried to stop the attack. The black bear was killed by one of the other hunters in the attack. Yeah. Vince Womack says, a hospital here once lost my CT scans, but I really didn't really care. I made copies beforehand. Well, yeah. Vince says, hard to do with part of your skull. Yes. Yes, it is. You are correct, sir. Anyway, so this guy got attacked by a bear. I really fucking hate this. That little pop-down thing. That's really obnoxious. Fuck you, people. Anyway, 32-year-old man, dude, he got attacked by a bear, and then these hunters were like, I'll save you, and then he chained it, and the dude still lived. Like shit. A 32-year-old man in Alaska has survived after being attacked by a bear and then accidentally shot by a fellow hunter. The man was injured while out on a hunting party near Cooper Landing. And according to the authorities, the unidentified victim as well as a second hunter were attacked by a brown bear. Alaska Wildlife Troopers received a report that a hunting party was attacked by a bear on the Resurrection Pass Trail, and they needed help. The 2 adult male hunters were in the vicinity of Abernathy Cabin when they were attacked. Both men opened fire on the bear during the attack, and the 32-year-old victim was shot in the leg as a result. Like, bro's got some really bad luck. Like, maybe hunting's not your thing right now. The bear was ultimately killed by one of the other hunters, and it is unclear which hunter caused the injury. Probably the guy that got shot. Let's make him a badass, all right? He gets attacked by a bear, all right? Then he gets shot by his buddy in the leg, and then he's pissed, right? And then he goes, and he's just really mad, and he just fucking, like, just decimates the bear. He's like, what's up? Yeah, and then he's like, yeah, I need to get transported out of here because I got attacked by a bear and shot. Yeah, my buddy's a little shaken up. You might want to, like, bring some people to calm him down. But, you know, it's all good. John Edgar says, poor bastard. How bad would your luck have to be to get attacked by a bear and shot by your own rescuer? Christian Delorme says, that sounds like National Lampoon, life imitating art. I added the third imitating, or the second imitating. Yeah, that's what I meant. John Edgar says, ha ha ha, yeah, maybe I'm going with badass too. His luck sucks, but he was swinging cod of shitty hunters. He was the swinging cod of shitty hunters. That's damn right. Damn right. Vince Womack says, maybe he identified as a woman, then the bear would have chosen him, her. What? Way to kill it. Vince, I have no idea what that means. Taking a step back real quick because I missed this comment from Aaron Ratliff earlier. He says, nah, Corey, if the hospital gets hit with a big fine, the shell company that owns it will declare bankruptcy and shut it down. That's why my small town doesn't even have a hospital anymore. I have seen that happen numerous times, actually. Yep. For real. Aaron Ratliff also says, damn, sounds like dudes need to be kept away from animals and firearms. Right? Hungry and a moron. Ah. That's fair. The injured hunter was taken to the hospital in Anchorage and treated. Yeah. He was transported. The second man was transported by a rescue team. Yeah, so bro's either a hardcore badass or, well, he might be a hardcore badass, but let's be honest, that is some shitty luck. That is some garbage luck, yo. Christian Delorme says, where are the feminists saying the bears are safer than men? Right? Right? I don't see them cuddling up to a brown bear in Alaska. I'll say that much. And now we're going to bounce down south for a moment to Texas to talk about another what the fuck. These people have no fucking shame. Absolutely no fucking shame. And I hope you're ready for this, okay? Apartment complex bills woman who died $15,000 for breaking her lease. Let that sink in a moment. An apartment complex billed a woman who died
$15,000 for breaking her lease. I mean, what the fuck? Thank you, San Antonio. San Antonio, Texas. They say you can't take it with you, but a local apartment complex says you better pay up before you go. It sent a bill to a family of one of its former tenants, charging her for breaking her lease when she died. Aaron says, what? Says the actual fuck. No kidding. John Edgar says, I can 100% believe this. My own apartment management company are fucking vampires. Yep. I totally feel that. The woman's children received a bill from the apartment complex for $15,676 and a collection notice. Despite a Texas law that says family members can cancel a lease if loved one passes away. The fact that they're attacking, coming after the next of kin, who, quite honestly, we loved our mom and we're still grieving and all they care about is the money, said David Naderman, the woman's son. 91-year-old Sandra Bonilla died in late June and was buried in Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery next to her husband. For more than 10 years, she lived at the lodge at Chavano Park Apartments. At the time of her death, Bonilla had almost a year left on her 2-year lease. When we went to the apartment complex, spoke to the leasing manager, and he told us that he would use the security deposit towards the cleaning and turning over the apartment, and that they would terminate the lease. But later, the family received a bill for $14,368 in accelerated rent and an $1,117 lease-breaking fee. It even states the reason for her move-out as deceased. They want the rest of the about a year's long worth of rent from a dead person. Our calls and emails to the lodge over at News 4SA, that's NBC, Chavano Park were not returned, so we went to the leasing office and the manager told us he couldn't comment due to tenant confidentiality. I think it's pretty unusual. I've never heard of anybody trying to charge an estate or somebody who's deceased for rent before, said Bill Clanton, an attorney who specializes in consumer and debt collection. Not Bill Clinton, Bill Clanton. Anyway, Clanton says the section of Texas Property Code states a representative of the tenant's estate may avoid liability for future rent if they take 2 steps: remove all property from the apartment and provide a written notice of termination. The landlord can only charge up to 30 days' rent after the notice is received. The landlord can charge for about 30 days once the lease is terminated, but you can't get blood from a turnip, and you certainly can't get rent from a dead person, Clanton said. Bonilla's son says they sent the termination notice, but still received a collection letter threatening to report the debt to a credit bureau or file legal action. Now the family is waiting to see if the apartment complex follows through. I hope that apartment complex, or whatever shell company owns them, gets fucked in the ass. What? Douchebags. Do you not understand how hard it is for everybody right now? You fucking assholes. Like, who is this? Who is this fucking place? What is this? I'm just trying to find the name of this shitty-ass fucking place. And look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Should you have to pay rent after you die? No. Let's see what everybody says. 95% of people say no. This 5% is landowning douchebags that work for this fucking place. The lodge at Chavano Park Apartments. Hey, whoever owns that place and stuff, I really, 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 really hope that you get so financially fucked that you wind up begging in the streets and eating out of dumpsters. And I hope you wind up hooked on heroin just to throw some sugar on top, you fucking asshole. No cigar for this guy. No shit. Aaron Ratliff says, yeah, my landlord's a douche, but not even he'd pull something that shady. Yep. Well, like I said, I hope these people wind up in pure destitute and that they can never recover from it.
I hope they have to whore themselves out on a street corner. John Edgar says, same here. What assholes, man. Seriously. Like, I don't know. If we ever needed somebody to just take down some corporate assholes and, you know, some fraudulent bastards at some landscape, you know, at some management companies like that, property management companies, this would be the perfect place to start. Come in here, financially bankrupt them through so many lawsuits and shit. Just fuck them over. Honestly. I used to be against suing everybody, but at this point, these people deserve it. Anyway, so I missed this story last year. Okay. Interesting. But this was hilarious, and I wanted to share it. A fat cat eating rat prompts lockdown at Goff Elementary School. This was from November 23rd or 22nd, 2023, and it was updated this year. But yeah, so a fat cat eating a rat outside of an elementary school caused it to lock down. And here's the Emily Frint, nonstop local digital journalist. All right. Man. I really wish that would fuck off. Let's make that a little smaller. Anyway, students at Groff Elementary School came home with quite the story after a fat cat eating a rat prompted a lockdown. According to Communications and Public Information Officer Claren McLaughlin, there was a mountain lion in the area. The school followed all protocols and initiated a lockdown, and then the school learned that the alleged mountain lion was a fat cat eating a rat. While we take all support reports seriously, this was the first report we've had of this nature, said McLaughlin. I'm going to call it Laughlin. Fuck it. The school's main priority is to keep students and staff safe. Yeah, they thought it was a mountain lion and this fat fucking cat. Like, is there images of a fat cat? Come on. There's no video of the cat? There's no video of the cat. There needs to be a fucking video of the cat. Okay? I don't need to see that. It just, like, keeps playing fucking news clips after I try to see if they show cat. No. Vince Womack says, imagine Garfield. I know, right? Like, damn. Top tier journalism. Hell yeah. That's some good shit right there. Aaron Ratliff says, man, those kids are lucky. When I was a kid in elementary where I lived, the rats ate the cats. Well, that's fair. Where I lived, we didn't have lockdown procedures when I was in school. Like, honestly, we didn't have active shooter procedures or mountain lion procedures. Typically, if there was a mountain lion outside the school that I went to, one of the teachers would go out to their truck, get their hunting rifle, and fucking shoot it. Or they might call the cops to have them fucking shoot it. That's usually how we handle that kind of stuff. But, I mean, I don't know. House cats are listed as the most deadly animals, or like most deadly cat. You know what I mean? So, if you look at statistics of how many things they kill every year, they're the most effective and efficient hunters of the cats as well. But I just don't think that would really ever, like, how big was this fucking cat if they thought it was a mountain lion? Like, what? Vince Womack says, here, that is normal, because we don't have active shooters in school. Well, hey. That's great. It's not just an American phenomenon, by the way. I have found numerous times where school shootings have happened in other countries. I think I actually still have some of that shit. Where would I find that? Let's see if I can find a couple of those. I think it's in my phone. Fuck. Just passive ones. We're lazy like that. Ha 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 ha. Hey.
Guess what? Yeah. Last time I checked, I've did you hear about the serial bow attacks? Like someone was using a bow and arrow to kill people all over, like in Oslo. What was that, last year and year before? I don't know. Anyway, John Edgar says something doesn't add up. Mountain lions are enormous. I don't give a darn how fat the cat was. He was no mountain lion. I get that. Christian Delorme says it could have been a Maine Coon cat, biggest domesticated cat. I mean, it could have been. It could have been a Maine Coon, but from like my understanding, it was just a fat orange cat, like Garfield. That is a huge cat. Like that's fucking nuts. For real. Anywho, yeah, that was all the stories I picked out for this one. I have a couple more news programs in the works that I'm going to go do soon. Yep. Vince Womack says, I used to read stories like that, but then I took an arrow to the knee. Yeah. Yep. That happens, bro. That happens. Love it. Aaron Ratliff says, yeah, Corey, when I was in high school, come every fall during deer season, every teacher's car or truck and most students' vehicles had gun racks full of rifles in rear windows. Yes, and it felt a little bit, safer. Anyway, Christian Delorme's Vinyl Revival says, I can't wait to see What the Food 3. Yeah, for real. Yep. I'm working on it. And I gotta tell you, there's plenty of messed up food. Like I could do a sports special, okay? Because I've seen all of these weird menu items from like sports arenas and shit. You guys are silly. TZ Burton says U.S. school shooters are CIA MK Ultra. I don't think they all are. Just saying. I don't think they all are. Yeah. I am looking forward to doing the next What the Food. That's been really fun to do on Saturdays. I think I might do one more on Saturday because I should be able to get back to the Corey's Corner on Monday morning. Mental Health Mondays and stuff like that. UPS is apparently here. And of course I've got more mental dysentery stuff that I'm working on. It's not as random as it usually is, but I think it's still funny. It's structured, but still just random shit that pops into my head that then I then turn into content for you guys to enjoy or cringe at really, really hard, depending on how you go about it. If you haven't seen any of them, make sure you check out the Mental Dysentery playlist on Toxalot Entertainment, or just check out the two newest ones that I posted. Next one's coming out next week. I plan on releasing those Thursdays. Christian Delorme says, this is perfect, Corey. I just punched out. Great way to finish the workday. Hell yeah. I'm glad you could have an enjoyable end to your workday, my friend. It's always nice to have. John Edgar says, absolutely need to watch your gaming streams if I were up late enough. Dude, you can always watch the replays, or you can watch some of the gaming clip videos that I am going to be doing in the future. Vince Womack says, need to make note of that and eat before I watch the next What the Food. Yes. Yes, right. Make sure you don't watch What the Food on an empty stomach or while you're hungry, because it will make you lose your appetite a lot of the times. Yeah. John Edgar says, afterwards I somehow lose my appetite. Vince Womack said that. My bad. John Edgar said, true clips and replays. Yes. And I'm having a lot of fun with that GTA stuff. Just saying. But I am going to get ready to bounce, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I won't be on Thursday Night Throwdown tonight because I didn't watch The Crow. I didn't have time to go out to watch it today, so
I'll just have to miss out on this one tonight. Christian Alarm says, I've been watching the game replays and I bought the game. Nice. Nice. Vince Womack says, who's your favorite character of the three? Honestly, because I'm a twisted fuck, I like Trevor. I really like playing Trevor as Culture Casino as well. That just makes it nice. Just saying. TZ Burton says, thanks, Corey. Thank you for joining me. Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Stay sexy. Don't get murdered. And as always, have a wonderful time. Bye.